onto live chat so I get all the messages, and turn the volume off on the video so you can't hear it bleeding through the headphones. Hope you're all well. Be with you in a moment. Just wait for this to sync up. Just got to wait for the adverts to play. There we go. I think we're live. Well then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hope you're well. Hope your bass playing's going great. I'm Mike Brooks. This is Brooks's Bass Corner. Live chat number 49. One more to go after this, and then we take a break for the summer. Hope you're well. If you've never been on a live chat before, welcome. We're all friends here, so feel free to get involved. So how does a live chat work? So it's very simple, really. So this is a video window. Directly below this, if you're on the mobile app, or to your right, my left, is the live chat window. How does this work? It becomes a two-way conversation. So if you put your cursor or pointer or mouse, whatever you want to call it, into the live chat window, press your comment or question, press send, and it pops up here on my live chat window, and I can respond to it. Other people in the world can respond to it. So if you've got any problems or any questions about basses, bass amps, bass speakers, combos, effect pedals, gig bags, strings, any bass accessories, great bass players, bands that had great bass players in them, you want to talk about albums with great bass lines on, this is the place to do it. Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, London town, Brooks's Bass Corner. You're in the right place. So you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us if you've not been here before. If you're a regular, then it's good to see you. Obviously, I don't really need to say it, do I? So I can see already someone in the US is very jolly today. Stacey Ann from North Carolina. She's been hitting the emojis on the live chat window like it's going out of fashion. Well done. Thank you very much. Very good. Then my cousin, Tom Sage. Good to see you, Tom. Welcome. Good to see you. So what are they doing? They're hitting the... Put teeth in would be good. I thought they were in, but clearly not. Right. We'll say that one again. So what are they doing? They're hitting the emoji button that's in the live chat window. So at the bottom of the text in the live chat, you'll see an emoji icon. Why are they hitting that? Well, the YouTube algorithm loves it. It shows that you're getting involved in the conversation. It helps the channel because it shows positive interaction with what we're doing here on the live chat. So if you want to give the emoji icon an absolute pummeling, feel free, just like Stacey Ann and my cousin Tom. So feel free to do that. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. It just shows positive interaction with the live chat. Next to that, you'll see a dollar symbol. So what's that all about? That's called live chat. I'm doing well, aren't I? That's 2 already. That's called super chat. So how does that work? Well, basically that's a facility that allows you, the viewing public, to make a financial donation or contribution to the channel, allows the channel to keep running, allows me to buy the items you see in the videos, allows me to do the workshop videos, all the cleaning materials, the cloths, the polishes, the waxes, all the strings, the tools, all of that gets paid out of Brooks's Bass Corner. So if you want to get involved in the live chat and help the channel at the same time, hit the dollar symbol in the super chat in the live chat window, and that will allow you to make a contribution to the channel if you wish to do so. You don't have to, but it's there if you wish to. Every video here on Brooks's Bass Corner is monetized because we're a monetized channel. So underneath the video window, you'll see an array of icons. So you'll see a thumbs up. We love the thumbs up. If you're enjoying the video, please give the video a thumbs up. Again, YouTube algorithm loves it. If it sees thumbs up, comments, emojis, it's all good stuff. There's a thumbs down. So if you don't enjoy the video or you don't like the way I present the videos, the way I've started this one, I wouldn't be surprised we get a few thumbs down, but there we go. So if you don't enjoy the video, please leave a comment. Let me know why you don't enjoy it. I can't make it better if you don't tell me why. You'll also see a share icon, which allows you to share this video out to social media, websites, email. There's also a save button, so you can save this video for later watching. You'll then see a love heart with a dollar symbol in it. That's called Super Thanks. It works exactly the same way as Super Chat in the live chat window. So basically it allows you to make a financial contribution to the channel. So if ever you're watching a video here on Brooks's Space Corner and you think, actually, I really enjoyed that video, I like what Mike's doing on the channel, you can use the Super Thanks facility. It allows you just make it can be a small contribution, it can be a large contribution. It's whatever you feel fit to donate to the channel. So I'll leave that in your very capable hands. So underneath this video, you'll find a description box as well as a comments section. In the description box, you will find details about this video. You'll find social media links. You'll find some Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, BeReal, Reddit, Quora, TikTok, and Discord. I think that's all of them at the moment. You will also find merchandise links for Brooks's Space Corner merchandise. You'll see me wearing a very natty ringer t-shirt. These are called ringer t-shirts, apparently. The rings around the top, around the neck and the arms, that makes these t-shirts called ringer t-shirts. So you'll find these and other suitable items. I'll show you some later on. I've got some here in front of me. So if you've not ventured onto the channel before and you think, oh, I quite like the look of his merchandise, I've got various samples here for you to see and take a look at. So you'll find merchandise links for a UK and Europe merchandise store and a US and worldwide store. And at the moment, up until midnight tonight, so you've got just under 4 hours if you're here in the UK or on our timeline, GMT, or British Summer Times it is at the moment. But wherever you are in the world, up until midnight tonight, Tuesday, all merchandise for Brooks's Space Corner, 15% off. So that's across the board. Doesn't matter whether you're buying a mug, like this very natty black number I have here. Here we go. With the Brooks's Space Corner logo, the exploding base on it. Take a little sip. So whether you want to buy a mug, glass, water bottle, you might want a cap, t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, there's socks, iPhone cases, there are mouse mats. I have a mouse mat here, just to give you an idea. There's literally about 150 items for every design. So basically, if you go on there, find a design that you like. I think there's about 10 or 11 on there at the moment. Find a design you like. Look at the items, so clothing, accessories, all sorts of bits and bobs. If you're choosing clothing and you want to change the color, you can get this t-shirt in a green, blue, red, yellow, orange, white, all sorts of variations. Pick the color you want, pick the size you want, add the item to your basket, and feel free to go through with the transaction. Brooks's Space Corner then receives a small commission for all sales of merchandise, so that's how that works. So like I say, up until midnight tonight, wherever you are in the world, whichever website you use, whether it's the UK and Europe or the US and worldwide site, all merchandise 15, better say that right, not 50, 15, 15% off every item. And that ends tonight, midnight. So that's the merchandise. Affiliate links, I posted up about this a little earlier on the community tab here on YouTube and also on the Facebook page. So if you're well ensconced in the live chats and you've attended a few of these, you'll have heard me talk about them before. So what are affiliate links? So basically, with a number of online retailers, I have Brooks's Space Corner storefronts, and basically bass-related items. We're talking bass guitars, amplifiers, speakers, effects, gig bags, straps, leads, bags of plectrums, if that's your thing. All those kind of things. You'll find those items in the stores. So at the moment, there are 4 retailers that I'm working with. So there's Thomann, the big warehouse based in Germany and Europe. There is Amazon.co.uk and the various European versions of Amazon. and also Amazon.com in the US and worldwide. There's also Gear for Music, which I think is a UK retailer only, but there may be European branches of it as well. And then there's also ANDERTONS, which is based here in the UK as well. So if you've got any bass related purchases that you think you've got coming up, or maybe a pedal has caught your eye, or there's a particular bass that's on a much reduced price, you can actually help the channel by going into the description box, finding the affiliate link for the retailer you'd like to go to, click on it, and then that's registered with their website that you've come through from Brooks's Bass Corner. If you then go to put something in your basket, go through with the transaction, they post the items out to you. Brooks's Bass Corner gets a very small affiliate commission. And obviously, they're small commissions, but if lots of people buy products, those commissions start to expand and get bigger, and the actual amount that comes to help the channel increases. That's how it works. So it's relatively simple. If you're a bass player and you've got strings to buy, leads to buy, a strap, picks, as I said, a new gig bag, an amp, effect pedal, tuners. If you want to help the channel, click those affiliate links, go through to the retailer, go through with the purchase, and then Brooks's Bass Corner receives a small commission. That's how it works. And that, I think, is that. So if you're new to the live chat, new to the channel, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button below. Hit the notification bell so that you'll get notifications when I'm posting up new videos, when we're doing live chats, when I've posted on the community tab. And also, please give the video a thumbs up. It's a small thing. It doesn't cost you anything to do it. But if you do it, or for any video here on Brooks's Bass Corner, it helps. It helps lubricate the wheels within the algorithm. So it shows that people are enjoying the videos. They like what we're doing here on the channel. And it's all good. That's it. That's kind of how it goes. So let's see who we've got on the live chat this evening. At 12 minutes past 8 here in London town. So Stacey Ann from North Carolina, good evening. My cousin Tom Sage from the South Coast. Good to see you, Tom. Oh, my mum's on. My mum is here on the live chat. You're making this regular, mum. Hi to everyone. Hope you're all okay. Tom saying hello to my aunt. To my mum, his aunt. Clearly. Tom, liking the shirt, Mike. Very tempting. There we go. Ringer t-shirts. That's what they are. And I think every design on the merchandise is available as a Ringer t-shirt. So if you like these kind of shirts with the coloured sleeves and neck, you can apply any of the designs. Now would be just as good a time for me to show you some of the other shirts. So you'll see some of the different designs that we have. Sorry if the camera's shaking. The t-shirts are on the tripod stand. So here we have a very natty Tip the Bass Player. They're the reason you're dancing. A very fetching green. And Brooks's Bass Corner logo on the bottom. We then got a regular premium shirt in peacock blue with the exploding bass. Then we've got a long sleeve navy t-shirt with the Brooks's Bass Corner logo on the front. We've got, I think this is called ice blue or sky blue. That's a premium shirt. Again with the exploding bass logo. Then we have a royal blue shirt with the multicolored multi-bass logo. So that's a sample of some of the designs you'll find over on the merchandise store. So like I say, 15% off until midnight tonight. After that, I couldn't tell you what the next promotion is. I don't know. But they come up fairly regularly. Every 3 to 4 weeks there's a new promotion within Spreadshirt and Spreadshop. And that's how the cookie crumbles. So there we are. So we don't have too many of the regulars on at the moment. I'm guessing people are on their way home from work, and it's very nice out here in the UK. They're probably having a quick pint at the pub before they venture home. So what have we been up to? Let's think. Last weekend. Yes, Wedding with the Bears. That was in Droitwich in Worcestershire here in the UK. Wedding, very nice venue. I think it was called Elmbridge Farm. And they basically hold the wedding in a number of teepees. So rather than it being a bricks and mortar wedding, in bricks and mortar building, It's in a series of teepees with an open front. I think it's 3 or 4 of them. The weirdest sound system I've ever come across. We were told in advance, no amplification, no monitoring. You could bring in ear monitors, but no PA, no monitoring on the floor. And when we got there, I looked at the dance floor and I said, so what are they going to hear? Because I can't see any speakers. The actual speakers were in the roof, pointing down above the dance floor. So it was an array. And they were like 3 by maybe 5 or 6 inch drivers and in panels. And it was like 3 by 3. So you had these panels with 9 speakers in, and you had 3 of the panels and 3 the other way. Quite bizarre. Not the greatest sound I've ever heard, if I'm honest. That wasn't the band's fault. That was just the way the sound was. And it was really low volume, overly compressed. And I was looking at the mixer we were plugged into, and it wasn't even, it was, so anyone that's seen a mixer, you will know you have green, orange, red. When you get into the red, you're peaking. We were barely in the orange, and the sound levels were all like super squashed, super compressed, but we had no say in the matter. It was what it was, so we did the best of our, well, best to our abilities, got the show done, and that was that. The wedding client was very happy. They had a great time. We've had very nice messages come back to the band on their social media, so job done, I would say. But it was very peculiar indeed, and I wouldn't recommend it, but there are lots of wedding venues going down this route now where they provide their own PA system, and the bands aren't allowed really to make a noise other than through their system. And the bizarre thing was, we were right out in the middle of nowhere. There were no other buildings, no other civilization for a good mile or two, but weren't allowed to make a noise really. So fair enough. We didn't. And so that was last weekend's gig. Now this weekend, trying to think, so it's been quite mad the past day or so. So Saturday I'm recording backing vocals in a studio in Essex. I've then got to get in the car at 3 o'clock and drive to Salisbury, which is 150 miles away, do a wedding that I've only picked up today with a band that I've worked with before. And then Sunday, I'm working with a put together band, and we're playing at Wembley Box Park. It's a match day. I think it's League Two promotion final at Wembley Stadium. And I'm in a put together band, and we're going to be playing from 5 till 7. So if you're in the area of Wembley Box Park on Sunday, between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m, that's where I'll be. So if you want to come along, see me do my thing, that's where I'll be playing. Minimal gear again, because the parking around that area on a match day is a nightmare, and it's going to be a bit tricky. So I'm actually traveling on the tube with a cabinet on a trailer, well, on a trolley, and small Class D amp, bass, cables, microphone. That's it, traveling light. I've never done this sort of thing before. I know lots of musicians who do, and do it regularly, but I've got to take some form of backline. Running off pedals and going on in ears isn't an option apparently. So smallish bass cabinet on a trolley on the tube, and we'll see how we go. It's going to be a voyage of discovery, that's for sure. But we'll see how we get on. And then next weekend, so not this weekend, the one after, that's when the festival season really kind of kicks off here in the UK. And I'll be out doing my thing with Uncle Funk throughout the summer, and a couple of Queen tributes, some ABBA tributes, and a whole variety of wedding shows with wedding covers bands. So it's going to be fairly busy. So for anyone who's venturing on this sort of after the event, or even if you're regular and you've missed the past couple of weeks announcements, so tonight is live chat 49. Next week is live chat 50. We're then going to take a break for a couple of weeks. So while it's summer, people on holiday, people getting in late from work, spending an evening in the garden. Why would you want to be indoors watching Brooks's Base Corner doing a live chat? So we're going to take some time out, recharge our batteries, me and you, and we're going to do one live chat a month on the last Tuesday of each month. So keep an eye out here on the channel. You'll see those dates pop up, and if you, I haven't booked them in yet, but if you come and look at the channel, probably from tomorrow lunchtime onwards, you'll see the dates that I've booked those live chats in for. And like I say, we'll just do a couple through the summer, and then we'll come back in September and it will go back to being a regular thing. But however, through the summer, while I'm out doing festivals, lots of shows, outdoor things, indoor things, there will be impromptu live chats. By the sheer nature of the word impromptu, that kind of gives the game away. It's going to be a bit ad hoc. So if you want to know when those are going on, that's why you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell and select all notifications, because then you'll be notified when I'm doing a live chat. We might have famous celebrities on. If I'm out doing festivals, chances are there might be a few name bands. Well, in fact, I know there are a few name bands playing at some of the shows I'm doing. So it's highly likely there might be a few names dropping in on some impromptu live chats. So if you don't want to miss those, make sure you hit the subscribe button and you'll get notifications when they're taking place. Ian Maggs, good to see you. Gosh, you're a busy bunny this weekend. Yeah, just a bit. And as of Sunday, just gone, I didn't think I was going to be. All I thought I had was the backing vocal session on Saturday morning and afternoon, and that was it. And suddenly I've got a gig on Saturday night and another one on Sunday afternoon. Tom, monthly will give me more time to practice in between. Very good. Life's taken over the last few, but getting into a new routine. Very good. I know what you're talking about. Good. I'm pleased to hear you'll get more time to practice as well. How did you get on with the setup, Tom? Is the bass working out for you? Tom bought one of these. Let me show you. He bought one of these Ibanez SR300 EBs, exactly the same colour, I think. No, or did you get the white? You got the white one, I think, didn't you? So exactly the same. I bought one of these off eBay secondhand a few months back. There is a setup video for this. I'll put it in the description box as well, but I'll put it on the live chat for anyone that hasn't seen it and might be interested. I'll just put a link in there. Bear with me 2 seconds. Just get onto my content page and you'll see what I'm talking about. There we are. Obviously, I don't want you to drop off the live chat, people, but if you want to run this or set it up to watch it later on, you can. So I'll just put that link in there. There we go. So yeah, so Tom bought one of these and used my video to set his own bass up once he bought it. And I think you were doing it, was it last week or the week before, while we were doing the live chat? He sent me a picture. So he had our live chat on that evening running while he had the bass set up and was cleaning it and putting new strings on and everything else. Very good. Well trained, Tom. Good stuff. Yes, good. Needed to go over the intonation again as I measured from the neck rather than the fret. I think you might be thinking action. Intonation is when the note is out of tune, so you're changing the string length on the bridge saddle. Action is the height of the string from the frets. It's okay, mate. You'll learn all these terms as you go along. Lewis Wingrove, good to see you. Looking like Nordstrom pickups, not on this Ibanez. No, they're just stock Ibanez units. No, not Nordstrom, sadly. But a great bass nonetheless. Plays great, sounds great, great value for money. You'll find this bass, or at least this model, on all the affiliate stores. So Thomann sell it, Amazon sell it, Give for Music sell it, Andertons too. So if you go on that video that I put the link for in the live chat, go to the description box, you'll find links to buy this. Or one of these. You don't have to have it in red. I think they're available in quite a lot of colours, because it's been one of the mainstays of the Ibanez catalogue for many years. So you can have it in this very nice candy apple red. There's I think it's pearl white. I think there's various versions of black. There's versions with the timber grain visible through. So anytime Ibanez release new colours into their range, the SR300 gets a bit of a facelift. So no matter what colour or finish you want, chances are you'll be able to get one of these in the colour you want. But very good they are too. So I saw a load of messages there. Tom, yes, sorry, action. Good. Lewis Wingrove, flat forward, sharp back. Exactly. That's the way it works. And it's the same on every bass. How you doing, Lewis? Any new purchases to tell us about this week? New pedals? New bass, maybe? New preamp? Let us know. We hang on this information. Lewis is one of our regulars here. A very learned chap in the ways of effect pedals and bass playing. So let us know. Let us know. And other than that, I'm trying to think what else has happened. So the workshop video for this fine bass was meant to be up last week, and I'm still editing it. We're getting there. So basically, a lot of the footage I filmed was too close, and I can't refilm because I've done the process on it already, and it's going to be a while until I do it again. So I'm editing as best I can with the video footage I've got, and then overdubbing new sound on it, so it makes a bit more sense when you're watching it, because anything that I've tried to film of me talking into the camera has cut me off at the neck. Some might say that's probably a bonus, but it doesn't look too great on the video. So where I'd hoped this was going to be ready and out last week, it hasn't happened, as you'll know if you've been waiting to see it. But I have been working on it today, and with a bit of luck, fingers crossed, should be ready to go for tomorrow. Lewis, no new pedals, just improved on what I have. Need a better compression pedal. Very good. Okay. When Martin gets on here, hopefully Martin from Dublin, ask him how he got on with, I think he went for the Empress pedal. Anyway, when he turns up, Lewis, ask him. And he'll tell you whether that compressor has worked for him. Tom, are pedals bass specific? Not always. Some pedals will work on, well, all pedals will work with any instrument. Bass pedals tend to be frequency specific. So what it used to be before kind of bass centric effect pedals were a thing was that bass players, guitarists, keyboard players would all use the same pedals to differing degrees of success. So if you use a guitar distortion pedal, usually the bass frequencies drop out. It's only really distorting the top end, and you find a lot of your bottom end drops out, which is a sad thing for anyone, let's be fair. So bass specific pedals started to appear in like the mid to late 80s, and I think Boss might have been one of the first companies that did it. So the popular pedals for bass players at that time were the chorus pedal, flanger, overdrive. They didn't do a bass specific compressor, but they did do a limiter. And also bass EQ. So let me put this down, I'll show you. So the bass EQ, they had the general Boss GE7 graphic equalizer 7-band. Now where is it? I see it. Bear with me a moment, people. So they brought out a range in around about 88, 89, which were black with gold decor, and they were the bass chorus, the bass flanger. I think that it was the bass graphic. Might have been a bass overdrive as well. That then changed, and they stopped doing the gold decor thing. But anyway, there's the bass equalizer in its current sort of livery. It's basically got a 7-band graphic and a volume level for that effect. So in answer to your question, Tom, no, pedals weren't always bass specific, but they are now. And what's happened over time is more and more of the companies, especially the bass companies that are producing bass specific pedals, pay far more attention to the bass frequencies, how they're affected. You'll find on a lot of bass effect pedals, they'll have a dry and wet control. There's nothing rude in that. It's basically talking about the signal. So a dry signal is unaffected by the pedal. The wet signal is how much of the effect is within the signal that you're now hearing. So if you turn the wet control, or if it's literally a dry into wet, if you go the full way wet, then that's as much of the effect applied to the signal as possible. If you go the other way, totally dry, then there's no effect, even if you've got it turned on. That's kind of how that kind of works. And you would hear the difference. So if you just picked up, say you went down the Boss route and you picked up their chorus pedal and then picked up the bass chorus, you're going to find that certain frequencies in the bottom end, mid-range and top, the effect is going to be fine-tuned for certain frequencies in that range. So you'll find the bottom end probably is a little tighter. You're losing less of it than you would on the bog standard chorus pedal. So kind of that's the thing, really. So are pedals bass specific? Just dealt with that. Or can I pinch the kids' guitar pedals to use? You can. But again, if you start going down the distortion route, certain modulation effects, you're going to find the bottom end is just gone. So you just end up sounding like a bit like a wasp in a bean tin, or a bit like a transistor, like you're playing through a transistor radio. A lot of the bottom end just goes. So it's kind of a mix and match kind of thing. You'll find pedals that you like the sound of, some you don't. You might find when you try the bass specific versions that they don't work for you. So a lot of the time it's easiest just to go into a store rather than buy these things. Go into a store that has loads of effects, sit and try them. You'll soon realize what works and what doesn't. Lewis, some are very compatible, correct. Not that I'm there yet, but thinking for the future. Cool, that's all right. For years, Tom, I didn't use any effects really at all. I'd have a tuner pedal, occasionally would have my EBS Octabass, so an octaver, and that'd be about it. For years I didn't use any bass distortion or any sort of grit or fuzz in my sound. It's only really since I've been doing Uncle Funk and the fact we're using IEMs and a pedal board with a preamp and stuff on that I've started to incorporate it. And also because the material in Uncle Funk kind of lends itself to the octave pedals, a bit of chorus, some envelope filters, some bass fuzz, all that kind of thing. So I can actually get all these toys out and use them. Stacy, hey Lewis, the pedal whiz is in the house. Yes, indeed. So Lewis, high gain distortion is trouble on a bass guitar, tends to bring out the top end. Again, you can lose sort of the bottom end frequencies and you Tom saying thank you. Lewis saying thank you, Stacy. Right, Lewis, I'm looking at the Empress. Very good. The Keeley, I think you mentioned that before. The Origin California 76 or the Dark Glass Luminary. Okay. Origins are British and sweet, based on the 1176 rack unit, but the Canadian Empress has nice LED input display. Hard choices. Again, this is why ask Martin when he comes on, hopefully later, because he bought one. He bought one through Thomann. Use the affiliate link, help the channel. Excellent. Dark glass is always a safe purchase, and Keeley is famous for his compression pedals. I think the Keeley one is quite pricey though, as I recall seeing various effect discussion threads on various bass forums. So yeah, I would ask Martin how he's got on. That'll give you an idea. But then again, it can all depend on what bass you're using, what strings, how you play, the dynamics you play with. That can all make a big difference. Personally, I don't tend to use compression very often. I'm going to have a compressor on my new board for Uncle Funk when we go out next week, because we do forget-me-nots, and that really needs it. And I've been doing that song since September without a compressor, and it's fine, but it could be better. So I'm going to stick a compressor on the board. But generally I don't use them. I find that they have uses, but generally I don't have a use for them, or I didn't. But I'll probably be using either the EBS multi-comp or the MXR bass compressor. So we'll see. I will report back with findings. Lewis, I have a Keeley right now. It's almost perfect, so I'll use it in my wet effects run time for dual compressor. You were saying last week, I think, that you were going to use two separate compressors, one for the wet side of things, and the dry, and a separate one for the dry. Am I right in that? I can't remember. Remind me. So I'm hanging on Lewis's chat here. While I wait for Lewis's reply, I better say thank you for attending tonight's live chat, number 49, here in Brooks's Bass Corner in London town in the UK. You're very welcome. Good to see you. If you've never been on one of these live chats before, come on in. We're a friendly bunch. So if you've got any problems with any of your gear, maybe your bass isn't working, maybe your amps giving you problems, effect pedals giving you problems, don't know how to restring a bass, maybe you're trying to set up a new pedal board, don't know what order to put the effect pedals in, ask me. If I can help, I'm willing to give the advice, help you out as much as I can. If I don't know the answer, one of the fine learned people that we have here on the Brooks's Bass Corner live chats will probably know the answer. Between one of us, we'll help you out some way or another. So how does it work? So if you've got a question you want to ask, go into the live chat window. If you're on the mobile app, the live chat section is directly below this video window. If you're on the desktop, it's that way. Put your insertion point or your cursor into the live chat window, type your question or comment, press send, pops up on my window, just like Lewis did. And when I see it, I'll respond to it. And that is how a live chat works. It's a two-way conversation. If you guys don't get involved, then it's just me wittering on for an hour or so. But if you guys come into the conversation, it makes it a whole lot more interesting. And we can help each other out, and you learn stuff, and it's all good. Right, Lewis, the Keeley is not losing bottom end until I started working on my dry tone. Then, pow, it's true. Damn, darn, I finally noticed. It took me 2 years to learn some killer pedal placement order. It never stops, Lewis. It's, I mean, I've got two boxes here full of effect pedals. and the amount of times just swapping, say you've got 10 pedals on the go, just swapping 2 over into a different place can make all the difference. But until you do it, you don't know. And then again, what sounds good to you at home can sound dreadful out in a gig. And again, might just be needing 2 pedals swapped over in the chain. And it's crazy, but it's what it is. You know, that's why you get people spending hours of their days and their playing time getting their pedals right, because it makes a big difference. And for people who've got large boards, large collections of pedals, it can be even more important that you get that selection and placement right. If you don't, it can just sound dreadful. Lewis, cutting bottom end for modulation effects can be a good thing. Yeah, I'll let you know. Yes, modulation effects, generally you hear that on the top end. So if you've got loads of bottom end power going in, that can affect how the pedal and the effect generation is working. It really can. So if you're swamping, say, a phaser pedal with tons of bottom end, you don't necessarily want all of that bottom end in the phasing effect. You might want it just to be hitting the transients at the top. But again, till you experiment, you don't know. You don't. Neoland, Peter from Holland, good to see you. Hope you're well, my friend. Hope the t-shirt is holding up well. Peter bought a very fine looking Brooks's Bass Corner t-shirt a couple of weeks ago. Sent me a very nice picture of him wearing it. And actually, I've had a few sort of come through this week. So if you are on here and you've bought some merchandise, whether it's a mug, a mouse mat, hoodie, jacket, Graham, if you're there. I know Graham Potts bought a Brooks's Bass Corner logo jacket 2 weeks ago. So if you've got any photos of you wearing your merchandise, please send them through. I'll put the email address here. If you can send me any, I'll try and do 3 things at once here. If you could send me any pictures of you with your merchandise and allow me to use it online, that would be absolutely fabulous. So there you go. There's the email address. Feel free to send any of your merchandise photos through. Let me know how you're getting on with it. I've heard no complaints so far. All the t-shirts, the mugs, the mouse mats, hoodies, sweatshirts, caps. Everyone seems to be very happy with the quality of the merch, so it's all very good. And thank you very much to all those who've purchased. Good stuff. I think we're up to date on the messages. I think I've got everything there. Live chat, just check here on the camera. Yeah, live chat, not top chat. If you go for top chat, I miss half the messages, so you got to make sure you. I realised that a few weeks back. I was missing a few messages, and it was just because I hadn't switched it from top chat to live chat. So there we go. Well, Mum, we've had this discussion. I say this to you every week. So when I'm next down, I'll bring my laptop. So basically, my mum, my nieces, my sister all want merch. But they just say, I want a t-shirt. Well, that doesn't tell me what colour, what size, what type of t-shirt. So when I next come down to visit your mum, we'll all sit there and you can pick what merch you want and I'll do the order while I'm sat there. Okay. Lewis, vibrato and tremolo is the only modulation effects I don't have. Taking my time for a permanent position. Behringer makes $20 pedals for interviews. I have those. Okay. I've kind of lost what you. I got the first bit, Lewis. Not sure about. Behringer make $20 pedal for interviews. Vibrato and tremolo for interviews. I'm lost. Explain, Lewis. Remember, if you are not sold yet, you can always use a cheap one. Oh, correct. Very good. Yes, indeed. I'm actually contemplating doing a series of videos where I try to get the cheapest pedal of a certain type of pedal and put it up against a more recognized, not necessarily top end, the most expensive. I don't have a bottomless pit of resources to do that, but using pedals that I might have on my board up against the cheapest variant that's out there on the market. See how they compare, see how they sound, see how reliable they are, which is always a good one. Lewis Wingrove, TC Electronic is great for that idea. Yeah, there's another company, I found them on eBay, not eBay, what am I on about? On Amazon. And I've got a bunch of their pedals saved in my wish list. Let's have a look. Some of you out there might already be au fait with them. Let me just get to my lists. Here we go. Sonic Cake, I think they're called. They're relatively cheap, and I saw on a bass forum people were saying their pedals were really good value and sounded really good for the price. So I'm going to buy a couple of these, and we're going to put them up against more sort of regular, well-known versions of those pedals, and we'll see how they perform. So I will let you know when those are ready to drop. I have, Lewis, I have 5 on my board chilling out with $300 holding their own. Very good. Yeah, sometimes just going down the cheaper route to find out if an effect works for you is just as good as plonking down £250 on the pedal that everyone's raving about, and then find actually you have no need for that sound in your collection. But there we go. There we go. A lot of this stuff is experimental. You don't know until you buy them, try them out, and then either it's like, yeah, that really works, or no, it don't. The flanger is a good one. Are we talking about TC Electronic? Yeah. Yeah, the TC modulation effects have always been very popular because a lot of studios used to use TC Electronic, like delays and reverbs and stuff. And when they really went for it with their amplification and their effect pedals as opposed to rack mount units, when was that? It was probably around 2009, I think, 2008. And they started getting the big hitters on board. So Nathan East, Mark King, I think Eden Nielsen. Yeah, they had a whole load of really big names using their gear. It really sort of brought all that stuff to the forefront. And then Behringer bought them out. And unfortunately, I don't know. I don't think they've now got UK servicing. So if something goes wrong, I think you just have to buy a new one. And all the endorsement stuff kind of died, really. And I think all the players, the big name players, have now moved on from that stuff, which is why you find a lot of TC stuff, as good as it was, on the second-hand market. Lewis, yes, TC. Okay. Also, a rare SLO called the Crescendo. Can't beat that one. What does that do? A rare SLO. What does that mean? And what's the Crescendo? I've never used personally or owned any TC Electronic pedals, so you might be talking about something. Oh, puts a bow effect. Okay. So like an E-bow? Is that what you mean? Maybe. Or a slowing effect. Okay. Yeah, so kind of like what an E-bow does. I've got a story to tell you about an E-bow. Just let me take a drink and I'll explain it. Okay. So for those of you in the know, there was a band called Bad Company, I'm sure all of you have probably heard of, which featured Paul Rodgers and Simon Kirke, formerly of Free, Mick Ralphs on guitar, and they had a bass player called Boz Burrell. Boz Burrell was a fabulous bass player, but he played rock bass on a fretless bass, and that's fine, nothing wrong with that. So when Ebos came out, Bad Company were doing some huge stadium show. Huge. I mean, we're talking 70,000 people plus. This wasn't a gig down at the Dog and Duck. This was, yeah, big. Rolling Stones sort of stadium gig. So Boz Burrell thought it'd be a great idea to use this new gadget on a song, to create sustain and to, that droning, like a bowing effect. That's what it's there for. So if you hold, I think it works by vibration. You hold it over the string and it makes the string resonate, and then you get basically a long sustain bordering on feedback. Well, clearly Boz hadn't tried this out before he brought it on stage, so he clearly hadn't tried it at sound check or anywhere properly before bringing it out in front of tens of thousands of people. Now, anyone that knows Paul Rodgers and knows the history of Paul Rodgers and Free and Bad Company will know he's a man of low patience and a very low patience threshold. So if he doesn't like something, he's either A, going to tell you, or he's going to knock your lights out without even mentioning it. So Boz put this Ebo over his fretless neck and promptly filled the whole stadium with feedback of the worst kind, bass feedback. So this thing is just going across the whole stadium, huge rig on the stage. No one could hear a thing. I don't know what happened after, but as the story was recounted to me, the following day he looked like he'd not had a good night. So I can only assume what might have happened after the final song. Not for me to divulge that, but all I can imagine was there was a fairly heated discussion in the band's dressing room after the event. I really should check that on Google and see if that, but that's what was recounted to me. Tales of Rock, number 327, Boz Burrell and the Ebo. Okay, Nearland, Pete, got a couple of Joyo pedals. Not heard of those. Not too bad in my ears. Perfect Chinese knockoffs, okay? I'll keep an eye out for those. Lewis Wingrove, Yojo is not, okay, it's going to be Joyo or Yojo. It'll be one of them. It's not bad, but it's a bit dirty for my taste. Okay, shielding issues, but so do Electro Harmonics products. Yeah, sometimes. Only the tri-parallel mixer and the bass chorus pedal made it on your board. Oh, what, from Electro Harmonics? Okay. Yeah, I've got a few Electro Harmonics pedals. What have I got? I've got the Knockout EQ pedal. I've got the Battalion. There's something else I've got in here. Can't remember off the top of my head. It'll come to me later. There's a couple. I think the bass monosynth, which is over there. I think that's EHX as well. So yeah. Good one. Okay, here we are, 8:54, Brooks's Bass Corner, London Town, UK. Hope you're well. Hope your bass playing's going great. This is Brooks's Bass Corner. We're talking about bass guitars, bass amplifiers, bass speakers, bass effect pedals, bass strings, gig bags, accessories, great bass players, bands with great bass players in them. albums with great bass lines on. If you've got any problems with your bass gear, or you're thinking about buying some new gear, or you're looking to put a pedal board together and you haven't got a clue what to buy, ask me. If I can help, I will. That's what I'm here for. If I don't know the answer to your question, one of the fine people here on the Brooks's Bass Corner live chat probably will. We're a varied bunch, but we all do different things and play in different bands, and we're a pretty good community. So if we can help, that's what we're here for. So if you're thinking, well, how can I ask a question? Okay, this is the video window. Directly below here on the mobile app is the live chat window. If you're on the desktop version, it's that way. Put your mouse pointer, your cursor, whatever you want to call it, in the live chat window. Type your question or comment, press send. It then pops up here on my live chat window on my desktop PC. Underneath the video window and underneath the live chat window, you'll find a description box. In there, you will find social media links for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, Quora, Discord, TikTok. You'll find merchandise links for Brooks's Bass Corner merchandise. I'm showing off a very nice black Ringer t-shirt this evening. A Brooks's Bass Corner logoed cap. We've got mouse mats. We've got mugs, we've got cups, we've got beer glasses, water bottles, all sorts. So if you like a black logoed mug, head on over to the merchandise shops, take a look. I should also point out, after last week's suggestion that YouTube pulled their finger out and got the merchandise shelf sorted out, lo and behold, they did. So if you look below this video, you'll see there's a merchandise strip. It's called the merch shelf. It now exists on every video here on Brooks's Bass Corner, all 350 something of them. So basically, you should now be able to see bags, mugs, water bottles, caps, the black mug that you've just seen, t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts. There should be a whole array of stuff. It's no longer 2 bags and a mug. You should be seeing lots of products. If any of you would like to confirm that's what you're seeing, I'd really appreciate it. But it means you can either buy merchandise via the links in the description box. So there's a UK and Europe store or a US and worldwide store, depending where you're located. And also up until midnight tonight on both stores, all merchandise 15% off. That should also apply to the merchandise on the merch shelf. However, if you buy merchandise from the merch shelf, I think I only receive a percentage of the commission, whereas when it's bought directly through the links, I get the full commission. But if it's bought through the merch shelf, because YouTube is displaying it, I get a percentage rather than the full amount. However, if you just want the ease of buying and want to buy from the merch shelf, go right ahead. That option is there for you to do as you wish with. So that's the merchandise. Underneath the merchandise, you'll find affiliate links for Thomann, Amazon in Europe and the US and worldwide, Gear for Music, and Andertons here in the UK. So if you've got any bass related purchases, bass, pedal, amp, speakers, gig bags, strings, picks, leads, anything that's bass related. If you're thinking of buying something, you'd like to help the channel out, click on one of those affiliate links. You'll find the affiliate links in every video here on the channel. It'll take you through to the retailer. For Thomann and Amazon, you'll find a Brooks's Bass Corner storefront. You won't have that on Gear for Music and Andertons, but you will on Thomann and Amazon. So basically go through, find the products you want, add them to your basket, go through with the transaction, pay for your items. Then Brooks's Bass Corner receives a very small affiliate commission. That's how the affiliate links work. Now also in the live chat window, you'll see there's an emoji icon. So feel free to give that an absolute thumping. The reason I say that is because the YouTube algorithm loves to see that emojis are being put into the live chat, because it implies that people are getting involved in the conversation. Next to the emoji icon, you'll see a dollar symbol. That's called Super Chat. That allows you to make a financial contribution to the channel if you wish to do so. Now, underneath the video, you'll see a row of icons. There's a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Please give the video a thumbs up if you'd be so kind. If you're not enjoying the video, you can give it a thumbs down, but please leave a comment in the comments box so that I know why you don't enjoy the video. And from that, I can then try and make the video more to your liking. You'll also see icons for, there's a share icon, which allows you to share this video out to social media, email and websites. There's a save button, there's a clip button. There's also a love heart with a dollar symbol. That works exactly the same way as Super Chat, and it's called Super Thanks. You'll find it on every video here on Brooks's Base Corner. So again, if you want to make a small contribution to the channel, hit the Super Thanks button. It can be as small or as much as you wish. It's entirely up to you. The videos are free to watch, but if you're enjoying the video or you've seen other content here on the channel and you'd like to say thank you, feel free to hit the Super Thanks button or the Super Chat button. And again, if you're not already a subscriber to the channel, and why not, please feel free to hit the subscribe button below, hit the notification bell so you get notifications when I post up new content and I post up on the community tab. And please give the video a thumbs up. Simple as. I saw a load of messages fly out there. Liz Wingrove, I'm convinced that electroharmonics is designed to throw down on the floor and play, not for a pedal board. Most of them anyways. I do hear what you're saying, but I've always been pretty impressed with the ones I've played, Lewis. So maybe you're hearing things that I'm not sort of looking for. I don't know. By the way, a quick shout out to Damon Spraga at Sweetwater. He's 30 years deep in pedal knowledge. Very good. Who shaped my destiny. Excellent. I did try to get a Sweetwater affiliate link. I did that a couple of weeks ago. I think I mentioned it on last week's live chat. Basically, they've said they would love to work with me, but at the moment they can't because I don't have enough subscribers. But when I boost my subscriber numbers, they'd like me to get back in touch, and hopefully we can work together in the future. So we'll see what happens there. Kev Smith, good to see you. Hope you're well. Hi, Mike. Who have you managed to get on for next week's Q&A? Can't divulge that yet, I'm afraid. No one will commit yet because their diaries are busy. But needless to say, I have put multiple feelers out. So we'll see. It'll be a surprise. So you're going to have to tune in next week to see who I've got. It could be my mum. What a conversation that could be. But hopefully it will be a bass luminary of great value. So we'll see. Lewis Wingrove, my car audio knowledge allows me to take this knowledge like a fish to water. Good man. Good man, Lewis. Well done, sir. Excellent. We've just gone past 9 o'clock, so we've been going for an hour and 3 minutes. Yes, we have. So who's got gigs coming up? Who's playing where? Anyone out on some nice festivals maybe? Or maybe you got a theatre tour coming up? Let me know. Let me know where you're all playing. That'd be good. I've got a smattering of everything coming up. I've got festivals, I've got weddings, I've got corporate events, theatre shows. Yeah, so it's a fairly varied summer coming my way. Lewis Wingrove, they should reconsider. Not many people in the bass guitar game. I'll pester them. Please do. By all means, mention the channel. I think it is just a case of numbers, though, because they knew who I was from my magazine work. And they said, your channel is exactly what we want, but you just don't have enough subscribers. So I know I get it, you know. Let's be fair, Sweetwater are fairly large. They're going to pick the best of the best and the biggest of the biggest. So we just keep plugging away. That's all I can do at the moment, is keep going, and we'll see where we end up. I'm working on it. But at least that initial contact has been made. But if you have some leeway there, Lewis, feel free to use it. Very good. I'm sat here just waiting to see if a reply pops up quick. No. Okay. Oh, there we go. Pete from Holland. Yes, your mum. Then she can tell us at which point it all went downhill. Oh, God. Yeah, in the bass territory. I can tell you that. I was 15 years old. It would be October 87. I've recounted this before. So basically, I wanted to be a singer, and then nature took its course, and that wasn't going to work. And then I thought I'd become a drummer. And my friend Jamie Fisher was at school with me, and he was a fabulous drummer already. And also, I didn't have a car. So getting a drum kit around seemed fairly difficult. And I thought, well, I really want to be a musician. I just don't know what I want to play. As many teenagers back then were of a similar idea. And one of the English teachers at the school that I was at posted up on our music room notice board, I'm going to be giving bass lessons on a Wednesday afternoon. If anyone is interested, please put your name under this message, and I'll get back to you. And I was the only person in the whole school that applied. So I literally had one-to-one bass lessons. We did 3. That was it. And after the 3rd one, he said, "You can teach yourself." He said, you have such a keen knowledge in even though we weren't, or for my year at school, we weren't able to do music because we were in the first year of GCSEs, and they didn't run it for anyone abroad outside the UK. We used to have O levels and CSEs, and then, God, when was that? 86. They changed it over to GCSEs. So I was the first year that ran for. And even though I applied to take music as one of my options, they didn't run it. We didn't have a music teacher at the school. And then they ran it when I was in my 2nd year of GCSE. So the year below us got to take music, but I didn't. So but he said, "Look, you're so musically into doing this, I can tell." He said, "You don't really need my encouragement. Let me teach you the notes and sort of general bass playing, and then you can just run with this." I was like, "All right." Okay. And I went home from school that day after my first lesson, knowing that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. That was it. And Mum said to me as I walked through the door, "What have you done? You're smiling from ear to ear. What's happened? What have you done?" I said, I've discovered what I want to do for the rest of my life, so I know now." So from that point on, all my money from my paper round went towards buying my first bass and my first amp. And that was that. And I bought my first bass 2 months later, and I bought a black Sparkle Marlin Sidewinder, which had a split P pickup and a humbucker. Cheap bass, but they were everywhere at the time. And it's good. It got me out there, got me playing. I was doing gigs already. Not necessarily paid gigs, but I was doing performances at school and in various youth groups and stuff. And yeah, and that just kind of sowed the seeds really from that point. That was it. I knew what I was doing. And once I finished school, I didn't really know what I was doing. So I, in my head, was going to go out and become a bass player. I hadn't really thought about money or what you live on or any of that. And thankfully, my headmaster at school said, "I think you should go and do A levels, and I think you should seriously consider going to university as well." And I was like, I hadn't even thought about any of that. None of my family were kind of that way inclined. And when I sat and thought about it, I thought, well, there'd be no harm in going and getting some more qualifications in various things. And if music doesn't work out, because there are no guarantees, you'd have that education to fall back on. So I ended up doing my A levels. I then did a 4-year degree in computers in London. So again, had music not worked out for me after, I always said once I graduate from uni, I'll give it 10 years. And if things aren't working after 10 years, then I'll go and do computers. Fair enough. Here we are. So I graduated in 1995, and it will be 30 years in 2 years' time since I turned professional. So that was it, mate. That was my story. And it's been a very long and winding road. There's no doubt about that, but it's a great way to see the world and be paid for the privilege. And it's a great way to meet people all over the world. And it's a good life. It's all right. It's a lot harder now than it was when I started, that's for sure. Because half the venues don't even exist, certainly not here in the UK. And the whole musical climate has changed very radically since that time. But it is what it is. You know, you got to find your inlets, and if you can do it and make a living, or you can find income streams that make it work, then great, you know. But it is hard, and you have to be you got to be prepared for anything, really. And it certainly doesn't hurt to have either an education behind you, or at least a trade, so that if playing is really shallow for a while, you can carry on making money doing something. How did I end up with Bonnie Tyler? Well, no, it's not a particularly long story. So a friend of mine called Graham Rolfe became her drummer, I think, after Thomas Lang. Thomas Lang was her drummer for many years, and then Thomas was going off to do something else. And I can't remember how he got the job. I should ask him sometime. Anyway, he became the drummer. So he's then working with Ed Paul, the bass player. Ed Paul was a name that kept cropping up, and I didn't know who it was, then did various research online and what have you. So fast forward to 2005, 2006, MySpace exists, which allowed loads of us musicians to interconnect with each other. So names that you'd heard of for years in passing were suddenly you could connect with via social media. And Ed and I connected. He knew who I was from my magazine work. He also knew that I was working in a covers band with a couple of the guys from FM. So Ed used to play. He was the original bass player in Romeo's Daughter. Romeo's Daughter were one of FM's support bands, and FM's bass player married the singer from Romeo's Daughter. So he knew that I was playing with the singer and drummer from FM. Fine. So over a period of months, we had conversations about bass and how to do this and what he was up to and da-da-da-da-da. And then out of nowhere, and I'd worked with the drummer before on an original female singers project, touring project. And what happened was Bonnie Tyler was about to do some shows in Germany, but she was also going to Australia to do her first live performances. She'd never played there before. Not live. She'd done TV work, but not played concerts. And she had these 2 dates in Melbourne and actually a gig in Vienna and a gig in Stuttgart. And the bass player was meant to be Lee Pomeroy. So Lee Pomeroy was one of the bass steps for Bonnie Tyler. And it was all booked up and what have you. And then all of a sudden, the band Take That made a big comeback here in the UK. And they basically had a new album, new single, getting geared up for a tour. And anyway, Lee Pomeroy was the bass player, and still is, which meant he couldn't do this trip to these gigs, 4 gigs. And obviously they must have gone through a list of all their bass steps, and no one was available. It's very short notice. You had to get your visas done and everything else. And I think it was literally like 6 weeks before they were due to go to Australia. He just contacted me. I think my name had cropped up with the drummer, or the drummer had suggested it. And it seemed like a good fit. I'd worked with the drummer before, and Ed said, look, there's nothing really I'm doing within the Bonnie Tyler stuff that you can't do. You've just got to learn it, and you've got to learn it as I play it. Don't do your version of it, just learn it. So I kind of weighed it all up. I was actually going to end up turning a load of work that I was already doing away, obviously, to do these gigs. And looking back, I lost a lot of money doing it, but I had a great time doing it. So I said, yes, I'll do it. Great, fine. Give me all the details, everything. Thing is, the reason Ed wasn't on the tour or those shows, it wasn't a tour, was because he was about to go on tour with an artist in Japan called Yazawa, who's like the Paul McCartney of Japan. So this guy goes on a tour of Japan, which is 2 islands, and he's basically on tour for like 2 months. All his shows sell out. He's a bit like Prince, a musical genius apparently. But Ed is away for 3 months, so basically you have all these rehearsals and prep and and the guy's got such a back catalogue of music, you actually almost have to learn all of it, and they're constantly adding songs to the set and things change. So they do like 6 weeks of prep and then 6 weeks of gigs. So how did that then pan out? So I said, fine, get me the stuff. So the first show was in the middle of October, around about 23rd, 29. So first show was on like the 19th of October or something, and it was for AMG, so Mercedes in Germany. And with about 3 weeks before, I still didn't have anything to learn. And I've been saying because they were still sort of in the middle of summer festival season, I kept saying, Guy, I need something. I've got no CDs, no tapes, no videos, nothing. What am I learning? So Ed did me a tape or a CD of live recordings, but it came off the desk. And the problem was they hadn't factored in the bass, because the bass was so loud from cabs on stage that they weren't running much of it through the house systems. So I get this CD with all the material, but you can't hear any bass on any of it. I mean, like the merest thing, you literally have to turn the whole thing up full to hear the merest bit on your headphones. So I did my best with what I got. And I turned up for the first rehearsal, which thankfully was at the guitarist's house with the MD, who's the keyboard player. And we played through 1 or 2 songs, and the MD just went, stop. But he wasn't laughing. I said, what's the problem? He said, you're not playing it how it's played. I said, well, that's what I can hear on the recordings I've got. We did another song. He went, this ain't working. He said, first band rehearsal in a rehearsal room, drums. Bonnie wasn't turning up for any of the rehearsals. I didn't meet her till we took the flight out to Stuttgart for the first gig. He said, band rehearsals tomorrow. You don't know any of the stuff. I said, I'm telling you, that is what is on this CD. So I've tried my best. I spoke to this guy on the phone like a week before, and I'd said, there is no bass on this CD, but that's what I was left with. So anyway, I've got the CD with me. Thank God I took it with me. We put it on. And within about 10 seconds of the first song, the MD and the guitarist are both looking at each other going, there's no bass on here. I said, no, that's what I've been telling you. So if you can't hear the bass, how the hell was I supposed to? I can hear guitar chords and keyboard pads, which is fine. That's what my bass is working off, but it's not exactly what Ed has played, because that's what I've got. So very quickly, they rustled together a live DVD with loads of bass and went through a performance from that weekend. So the set at that point wasn't really changing very much. And they just said, look, a DVD, 2 CDs, go home, learn it all for tomorrow. So I got home, I learnt it, stayed up to about 4 o'clock in the morning, nailed it. went in a rehearsal next day, and they were like, oh, that's a world of difference from yesterday. I said, well, yeah, but if you'd given me that in the first place, wouldn't have had that issue. And that was that, really. So we did gig in Stuttgart, 2 gigs in Melbourne, which is the footage that you can see on the YouTube channel. If anyone's not seen that, I can put up a quick link for that. Bear me 2 seconds. Just going to find the playlist for it. No, not there yet, Michael. There we go. Thank you. So if anyone wants to see me playing with Bonnie Tyler, there's your link. So yes, we did Stuttgart, 2 nights in Melbourne, which is the video in that playlist, and a gig at the Vienna Stadthalle, which is like Wembley Arena or the O2, and that was a tribute show thing with loads of like the Drifters and various artists, and we ended the night, and it ran so late that I think we only ended up playing half our set. We didn't play very much or for very long. We were there for we arrived the day before, no, 2 days before, I think. We were there at the arena most of the day, sound checked, went back to the hotel, came back. We were just hanging around for hours and played like for 25 minutes, I think. And then flew back the next day. That was the end of that. And I didn't do any more after that. Something weird happened, and yeah, I was told I was going to do a load more, and in the end I didn't. And here we are, 17 years later. So that was that. So I did 4 shows, and it was okay. It was fun, but I look back and I think, well, it didn't change anything in my career really. And I ended up losing about £2,000 in lost earnings, but it is what it is. There we go. Can't cry about it now. It was a long time ago. But it was good fun. Got to see Australia. Actually got to see a friend of mine who I used to be in a band with and lived in Melbourne. We hooked up on the day of the second show. We were there for virtually a week. We flew out from London on the Monday, arrived there Tuesday, the end of play on Tuesday. It's a 24-hour flight, which was no fun. And went to the set of Neighbours, and we had literally a week to acclimatise. First show was on the Friday, second show was on the Saturday. Saw Jimmy Barnes. I think he was there on the Wednesday and the Thursday. But it was lovely. Loved Melbourne at that time. It was great. Looks great on your CV anyways. Yeah. Can't say it's changed anything though. I don't think anyone really looks at that part of it. But it was what it was, and I got a nice couple of DVDs out of it, so it's all good. There we are. So here we are, Brooks's Bass Corner, live chat number 49 at 23 minutes past 9 on Tuesday evening. All the way to you from London town here in the UK. Hope you're well. Hope your bass playing's going well. Hope everyone out there, whether you're watching now or watching after the event, I hope you've all got loads of gigs and stuff coming up over the summer. We're going to be taking a little break here on Brooks's Bass Corner from the live chats. Next week is the last one before we take a bit of a break over summer. The way it's going to work is we're going to do one live chat on the last Tuesday of each month through June, July and August, and then we'll come back to a regular weekly slot when we get into September. However, there will be impromptu live chats when I'm out on gigs, festival shows, as long as there's either Wi-Fi or some good mobile internet coverage. I will be able to do some impromptu live chats. So if you want to stay abreast of those, sometimes I won't have a chance to announce it. It'll just happen. So if you aren't already subscribed to the channel and you'd like to at least know that those live chats are going on, hit the subscribe button below, hit the notification bell, and make sure you select all. If you don't select all, you won't get every notification when something happens. You'll just either get selected highlights or none. So you've got to make sure you select all. And please give the live chat a thumbs up. That would be very much appreciated. Stacey, what is it with people sharing the bare minimum of info and expecting magic? Never ceases to amaze me. That behaviour is in every industry. Yeah. It caught me unawares because I wanted to do the very best I could for them, and in the end I think it was just a bit of laziness on one person's part. Not Ed's, by the way, it was someone else in the band. I don't know if it was a stitch up to see what I was made of, or whether they just wanted me to fail. I don't know. But why send a bass deck a CD of live recordings with no bass on? Made no sense. I don't. Why? And would you not have checked before you'd sent that to me? And I'd mentioned it in a phone call as well before we even got to rehearsals, and no one did anything about it. But there we are. It's long past. Don't worry. Lewis Wingrove. Okay, how about I take a you don't have a bass player for demos and product showcasing is the angle in going with Sweetwater. How about you need a speech mark there. How about I take a you don't have a bass player for demos and product showcasing? It's the angle. Yes, well, feel free. I think they do have someone doing demos because I've seen there's a guy who seems to have like a fairly well followed channel that does their stuff. I think he's an older guy. I think he's got grey hair and a moustache, but can't remember his name off the top of my head. But I have seen videos posted on their channel. But hey, if you can open those doors, Lewis, please do. It'd be great for me. It'd be great for the channel. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. So I asked this question last week. I'll put it out to you again. So next week is live chat number 50. It's the one before we kind of take a rest for the summer. Who would you like to have on here on the live chat? Can't guarantee I can get them on video. I'd hope I can. Can't guarantee it, but I would certainly hope they will get involved in the live chat. So let me know, who would you like to talk to? And if I can't get them for next week, maybe I'll get them for one of the chats through the summer, or maybe even further down the line. You can only try, Lewis. Very good. I appreciate all your efforts. If you can make it work, fabulous. So I'm in between the camera and the live chat window here. If I don't keep an eye on it, suddenly we get like a flurry of messages. So I'm just staying on top of it, people. Yes, sir. So here's another question I'll put out to you fine people. Are there any videos on this channel that you would like to see more of? So for example, we keep getting told by YouTube and the Creator Studio that if you do a video that does quite well, for example, my Trace Elliott Elf video, you're really meant to do more videos of that kind of thing. I can't replicate an amplifier video, so I've got to find new angles to take the elf thing on. So are there any products on the channel that you'd like to see more videos of? Are there any feature videos that you'd like to see more videos like that? So for example, the bass collection video, or the essential album series, or yeah, I can go on and on and on. But if there's something you would like to see more of that's already here on the channel, let me know in the comments, or obviously in the live chat. I was quite astonished that before the live chat even started, there were 5 likes on this video. Thank you to those who did that. It's very much appreciated. Although it's a little disheartening that I've only accrued 3 since 3 extras since the live chat started. But there we are. Lewis, I think the videos require some company support, like lending products for showcasing. Well, I have Base Direct here in the UK, who will always lend me gear and equipment. The problem I've got at the moment is I've got such a backlog of videos that I want to put up. And as I've said before, you've got to have a couple of hours before and after each video you put up, because you have to promote heavily on social media. If you don't, the chances are a video is going to come out of the cannon and hit the ground, and that's not good for channel performance. So you have to really push every video with maximum force. George in the artist, good to see you, my friend, all the way from Australia. Hope everything's good down there. So yeah, I need to get that backlog done before I start doing new stuff. But it's having the spare time around each video launch that means I give each video the maximum push it can have. So there will be more. I've just got to get the backlog out, and that will happen very imminently. Peter from Holland, you played so many gigs, road stories. That's what I at least want. I'm thinking of doing a podcast along those lines, if that would be a thing that might interest you. Road stories is always a favourite. I'm going to make a note of this. So keep the ideas coming, boys and girls. Road stories I can do. I've got many. I've got over 4,500 road stories. Okay. Yes, sir. I can do that. I've got to be careful what I say. I don't want to end up in court, but yeah, I can work on that. Might make the start of a good book. Who knows? Yeah. Podcast. Okay. It's just having the time to do all this. There was an idea floated by YouTube. I don't know what to call her. She's like an influencer, but not in terms of buying products. She influences and coaches on what you need to be doing on YouTube. And she had some good ideas, which I was like, oh, I could do that. That's easy enough. So I've got to put those things into operation. So I will. It'll all get there. It will. We love stories. Oh, very good. Okay. All right. I'll try and work out like my top 10 gig stories and do those as a podcast. We'll see. See where we go. On the road with Brooksy, hey. One of the best things I've ever done. It's quite sad actually, but all my diaries, that's this year. I've kept a list. Well, as you do in a diary, you write all your gigs down, but I've numbered them all since I started, and so so I know which gig was what number. So yeah, I can't even tell you. Oh, that's last year. Yeah, approaching 4,500. How about that? There's a lot of stories in there. Remove stars and names. Yeah, exactly. Alleged is the theme for storytelling. Yeah. The thing is, I was there for a lot of it. Yeah, I've seen some things. Like the time I was in Moscow, and the band I was with were told to hide in the flat opposite where we were, and not to go to the venue we were playing at, because it was only at that point, after we'd been in the town for the city, for 9 or 10 days, that we found out the people that had booked us hadn't filled out the appropriate visa visiting forms and stuff. And we don't know if they were looking for us, but they were looking for anyone that didn't have correct paperwork. So we were told not to attend the gig that night. I kept a very low profile. Yeah. It was an interesting evening. Stuck in the middle of Moscow in absolutely sweltering heat and horrendous smog and pollution. You couldn't go anywhere, and we had nothing to eat in the flat. We were all expecting to go to the venue, do a gig and eat when we got to the gig, and then the phone call: don't come to the venue, stay where you are. Okay. Walking across Red Square at 4:45 in the morning, probably not my greatest action ever. Anything could have happened over there. When you watch, I always thought, actually, on the rare occasions that I've watched Hostel, if any of you have seen Hostel, and those streets, I think it was filmed around Prague or in the Czech Republic, and those small windy streets, and anyone could come out of a door at any point. And I look back on places I've been in the world, and anything could have happened at any time. So I could have been walking down a street in Moscow and been kidnapped. When I went to Bahrain, thankfully it was kind of a bit before, it was 3 years before 9/11. But all the things that happened in Iraq and in Arabic countries to Westerners, I look back now and, walking down very shady streets at like 3 a.m, completely leathered. Anything could have happened. It could have been bundled in the back of a van and never heard of again. You just don't think of it at the time. The world changed after 9/11. So, it's like now when I go to Israel, although I haven't been for 7 years, but thankfully there, my old band that I used to go there with twice a year, I'm not saying this out of turn, and I'm sure anyone from there who's watching this, although I don't think any of them watch it for whatever reason, my old band was treated like royalty. So whenever we arrived in town, taxi drivers, oh, you, yes, you, because they'd been to see us. And I think we made an impact there. And it was quite, here's a story. So on the last trip I did with that old band, which was August, September 2015. So I'd already announced to the band that I was leaving. So this was going to be our last trip as the three of us going there. So it was our 10th trip in 6 years. And we still, as far as I'm aware, we still hold the record for the most money taken by a band over the bar during that band's month slot. And we used to get great audiences. We had people coming from all over Israel to come and see us because we built up a rapport and they loved what we did and we were always good value. And our first night there, so generally back then you would arrive on, well, you could fly out on any day, but usually we would fly out on the flight on the Tuesday night. We'd arrive in Israel and Eilat on the Wednesday. So we had a night's preamble, which basically another way of saying we're going on a bit of a pub crawl and go and see all our friends at the various bars and stuff, and then end up in the place that we're playing for a month. And that first night on that trip, we went to the hotel restaurant where we always ate, and same old thing. Three of us, we each come from our rooms, and we'd wait on the couch by the entrance to the restaurant until all three of us were there. And, right, are we all, yeah, all going to eat? Yeah, fine, off we go. And as we walked into the restaurant, all the staff came out the restaurant and gave us a round of applause and a guard of honour as we walked into the restaurant. That was quite touching. Never had that before. I don't know if they knew it was our final trip. I don't. But as the three of us, the band carried on going out there after I'd left. But I don't know if they knew that was the last trip for the three of us as we were. But yeah, that was quite touching at the time. I was like, wow, what we've done to. I think what happened was they'd had a run of average bands who hadn't really set the town alight, and they knew that if we were there, they were in for a good month. So lots of tips, lots of people coming to the bar, spending money, people in the hotel being happy. If the band are good, the hotel's happy. And yeah, to have a round of applause and a guard of honour as you're walking into the restaurant. All these people stood there going, who the hell are they? Because we certainly didn't look like royalty, that's for sure. The old eye bags were on. We, hadn't slept the night before and travelled through the night to get to Israel. But there we are. Happy days. I have many such stories. I remember when we were in Bahrain. So this was end of 98. We were there for 10 weeks. It's how that band kind of formed, really. Went out there as a four-piece, and it was meant to, well, it was just one trip. We were going to see how it all sort of worked. And it was just as Bill Clinton had all the aircraft carriers and stuff in the Persian Gulf ready to attack Iraq again. And it just coincided with the last week of us being there. We thought we weren't going to get out and home in time for Christmas. And thankfully we did. But it was touch and go for a couple of days. And all the Brits and the Americans there in Bahrain were on like tent hooks because it could all go off. And all the big aircraft carriers were in by Bahrain. So there's a load of American troops and the American Air Force all based there. And we played at one of the American bases while we were out there. But it all started to kick off that week leading up to Christmas. And we thought, we aren't going to get home, are we? We've been here 10 weeks and we all want to get home. And we're not going to go. And we're all starting to make arrangements. It's like, well, we might not be back till New Year. It depends if this happens. We can't guarantee the planes can take off and not get shot down by missiles. And yeah, bundle of laughs that was. It was really great. Really great. Lewis, I'm still swimming in this Boss synth pedal. Very good. Lottery of keyboard. Hey, lottery of keyboard. Lottery of keyboard fun. Maybe. I hear. So yeah, we did go back to Bahrain. We did it once more a year later. Got invited back to play at the British club out there. And then after that, we never went back. Don't know why. I think our contacts had moved on. And no one in the band had any contact out there. So it was like that one kind of went cold, which was a shame. And I know from people who've been since, they've said it's not like it used to be. Because when we were there, it was a lot of it was a building site. There was lots of money being ploughed in to buildings and hotels And you'd sit there and watch these Bahraini builders, or wherever they were from, India maybe, Pakistan, and they're building things, and there's like no safety at all. And like blokes hanging off the side of buildings by their little toe while they're doing the painting. You know, it's a crazy, crazy place. And you look at the way the buildings are being built, and it's like, they're not going to be here long, are they? They won't last too long. But Neoland, Peter, Lewis, is that the SY200? I think it. You did mention what it was, I think, last week, Lewis. I can't remember. Tell us. We need to know this information. So you'll hear gurgling in my throat. I didn't have my dinner too long before the start of the live chat. So if you do hear the odd gurgle, it's just my dinner going down, okay? It's not me belching or anything. You'll know that if I do that. And I had a bout of hiccups as well, about half an hour before we started. So that's why my voice sounds a bit dry this week. Yeah. I'm trying to think what other stories I can regale. Don't know, really. There's been so much. So much that's happened. It's been a rich tapestry. I'll tell you that. A very rich tapestry of stuff. Oh, he's a good. Yeah, there was I posted a video of this years ago on my Facebook. So when we used to play in Israel with that band, we went there in 2012, and a year before, in fact 2 years before, so 2010, the club had been shut for best part of about 9 or 10 months for a huge refit and change in how it looked inside and remodeled and what have you. And it had this big grand opening in 2011. And when we went there in 2011, it was like, wow, this isn't anything like the place we used to play. And it's great. We went back there literally a year later in 2012. So it was been September, October 2012. And they were pulling the newly installed floor of the club up. Literally pulling all these wood panels off the floor. We're like, what the hell is going on? So we turn up to do our sound check, and there's a load of builders with drills under the wood. And we said, what the hell's going on? They said, there's a water leak in the gents' toilet, and it starts here under the dance floor. And lo and behold, they pulled all this wooden floor up, and there's water everywhere. I mean, not particularly nice water either. It's just basically a pit. The whole club is built on this pit. They've got all these pipes and stuff. And we're trying to do a sound check and setting all the gear up. And you've got all these guys with drills and hammers and clunk, clunk, clunk. And then we're all stood there watching these builders going, well, what can we do? And one of these guys pops up out of a hole in the floor with a food whisk, but not even an electric one of the windy food whisks with the two things. We're like, what's that for, mate? And he said, oh, that clears the blockage. We're like, right, so where did you get that food whisk? Oh, it came out of the came out of the kitchens. So they clear a blockage from the toilet pipe that runs from the gents under the dance floor with a DIY food whisk. True. At that point, we left for lunch and said we'll come back later. We couldn't sound check. It was pointless. Peter, anyway, I tested that pedal last week. Very good. My God, what a load of usable patches are in that thing, and works great with bass. There we go. Cousin Tom, listen to this man. The Boss SY200. You might want to check one out in a store. Don't just go and buy one willy-nilly. These things aren't cheap, but try one in a store. Excellent, Pete. What sort of sounds did you get with that? What? Give us some points of reference. Any particular sounds that did make you sound like anyone? If you're trying to get a Chris Wolstenholme Muse sound, you know, what did you get out of it? My Brooks's Bass Corner black mug there. Very good. Go on, Pete. Tell us what sounds you got out of it. Okay, while we wait for Peter to fill us in on the sounds he got from his Boss SY200. You're very welcome here on Brooks's Bass Corner. This is live chat number 49 on a Tuesday evening from London town here in the UK. It has just gone 10 minutes to 10 in the evening. Hope you're all safe and well out there. Hope life's treating you good. Hope your bass playing's coming along. So, this is a live chat. If you've not been on one before, you're very welcome. If we can help in any way, if you've got problems with some gear, or you're looking to set a pedal board up, or maybe you've got some money and you're looking at a new bass or an amp or effects, or maybe you like to try some new strings, let us know. If we can help, we will. If I can help, I certainly will. If I don't know the answer, from the fine people that we have here on Brooks's Bass Corner live chat might well be able to help. So this is the video window directly below. If you're on the mobile app, it's the live chat window. If you're on the desktop version, it's that way. So how does this work? If you put your cursor or pointer in the live chat window, type your question or comment, press send, it will appear here on my live chat screen. From there, I can then respond to it, get involved with you. We can have a two-way conversation. In the description box below, just below the live chat window, if you're on the mobile app, you'll find affiliate links for Amazon, Thomann, Gear for Music and Andertons. How does that work? Well, if you click on one of the links, go through and buy a bass related product, put it in your basket, then pay for the product to get shipped to you. Once you receive it, the channel receives a very small commission, which allows us to keep the channel running. Lots of small commissions become bigger commissions, and it grows and grows and grows. So if you want to help the channel out, there's one thing you can do to help. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, give the video a thumbs up. That helps as well. If you're in the live chat window, you'll see an emoji icon. Please feel free to add as many emojis to this conversation as you wish. The YouTube algorithm sees that as you getting involved in the conversation. So if you want to do that, it's very much appreciated. Next to the emoji symbol, you'll see a dollar symbol. That's called Super Chat. That allows you to make a financial contribution to the channel. And underneath every video here on Brooks's Bass Corner, because we're monetized, you'll see a row of icons. There's a thumbs up, so please hit that. There's a thumbs down. We don't like that one so much. There's a share icon, a save icon, and then you'll see a love heart with a dollar symbol. That's called Super Thanks. Works exactly the same way as Super Chat in the live chat window. Again, if you wish to make a contribution to the channel financially, you can. You don't have to. The videos are free to watch, but if you like what we're doing, you like any of the interviews or the reviews or the demos or the features here on the channel, then by all means hit the super thanks button or the super chat button. Underneath all of that in the description box are the social media links. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Be Real, Reddit, Quora, Discord, and TikTok. There we go. I saw some messages pop up there. Peter, a lot of pads leads, but as usual, there's also the category farts underwater in there. Good man. Ian Maggs, what do you think about the Guy Pratt Betsy bass? Right then. Okie dokes. Now, where is she? She might be in a gig bag. 2 seconds. Just bear with me a moment. Right, Ian. Right, sir. What would you like to know? So I'm a big advocate of the Betsy bass from the Bass Centre here in the UK. If you haven't already checked out the channel, let me just help you a moment. 2 seconds. So, okay. Bear with me a moment, guys. Put up some links here. So this is a Betsy demo for those who may not have seen it. And here's a review of the same bass. So I first came across this bass at the London Bass Guitar Show in 2019. This is the very bass that was there. So if you played on it over the weekend, on the Friday, Saturday or Sunday, it was this bass, this exact one. So basically this got presented to me on the Friday by Mr. Barry Morehouse, personal friend, and a supporter of the channel, of course. And he said, we've got the Betsy bass, do you want to review it? So I quickly got in touch with my editor and said, Barry's offered us Betsy bass. Get on with it. So I reviewed the bass there and then, and it played so well. I went back to Barry and said, I want to buy that. He said, well, I need it for the show. I said, well, fine, I'll buy it. You have it for the show and I'll pick it up off you on the Sundays. Done. So I was so taken with this bass. Played many jazzes over the years. Played the real Betsy back in 2013. And I was just astonished at how wonderful the EMG sounded on this bass, and also the fact it was a jazz bass with an ebony fingerboard, which makes a big difference to the tone. And I just thought, I'm not going to let this pass, and I don't want to get another one from the Bass Centre. I want that one. And it's been great. When I first bought it, I used it probably on about 40 gigs solid, up until the point we went into lockdown with COVID, and it's fabulous. Used it on loads of different gigs, rock gigs, disco gigs, functions, weddings, corporate events, festivals, all sorts. And it's quite fabulous for the money. I can highly recommend it. If you don't like jazz basses, then there's no point even looking at it, you know, but as a jazz bass variant, absolutely fabulous. Active pickups, but not an active preamp control set. Battery sits under this control plate, but the pickups are active, and it's got real power and authority, finesse, clarity of tone. It's just fabulous. Let me know what you want to know, Ian, and I'll try my best to answer any questions you might have. Stacey Ann, there's nothing quite like an underwater fart. Okay, moving on quickly. Ian Maggs, you have one. Yes, sir. As you can see. Now also available in black, if black is your thing. I personally prefer the burgundy mist, but there we go. Matching headstock, of course. Guy's signature on the headstock for those who like that sort of thing. but it just plays great. Very reliable. Quality of hardware is great. The bridge has the string spacing vintage bridge, so it's got the like the screw windings on it, so you can place the string where you want it if you want to fiddle about with the string spacing. Mum thought, oh dear, sound's gone. No, you had stopped talking. I can't talk for 3 or 4 hours constantly, Mum. I'm getting a bit hoarse as it is. George Iliadis actually was just about to ask, which is your favourite bass for live shows? Depends what the show is, George. So generally, I will rely on either my Status Empathy, one of my GB Rumours. What else do I go to? The Alembics, of course, when it's suitable, when I know I've got room on stage and I'm not going to bash them. What else do I take out? The Dingwall NG2, but again, that doesn't always lend itself to every gig. Neither do the Alembics. If I'm doing a Queen gig, then I have to take Precisions. It's just the way it is. But invariably, I pick and choose my basses, George, based on what the gig is and who I'm playing with. So if it's a tribute thing, I've got to go with something that's going to fit in with that. If it's the disco band, at the moment, it's so Uncle Funk, then it's the Status Empathy, because I'm using that bass for the Bass String Experiment video series, of course. When those strings come off that bass, I'll probably revert back to my GB Rumour, the white one, my 50th birthday bass, that little beauty. So that'll be back out this summer at some point. It just depends what it is. One of the things I always wanted growing up was to have a really nice collection of different basses for different projects and different things, and that's kind of what I've built here. If you want to see the basses in the collection, I can give you a very quick link through to this collection. So if you haven't already seen this, 2 seconds, guys. No, it doesn't need to be that, does it? Got a filter on the search. Great. So if you want to see the basses in this collection, you can via this link. Neoland, how did you play the real Betsy? Guy wasn't looking. No, Guy was at the he did 2 London bass shows. He did, and actually turned up as like a puntery kind of thing at the last one in 2019. But he was actually at the London bass show in 2013. I interviewed him. That interview will go up on the channel at some point. And then he was there again, I think, maybe 2016 or 2017. Can't remember. He was there. He did 2 of the shows, but anyway, he was having his photo taken, some with Betsy, some without. Both me and my editor are there, and Betsy's just sat there in the case. And I said to him, "Can I have a noodle around?" He said, "Yeah, absolutely, go for it." So there are a load of pictures. If you go onto the Facebook channel, you'll see some of those in the photos. But yeah, so I had a play of the real Betsy. It's a fine bass, or it was then. Very worn, obviously, but it played great, sounded great. He had quite dead strings on it at that point. So I remember trying to slap something simple on it, but it was like they were really like bits of old rope. But that's what he wanted. That's how it was, you know. But yeah, it was just there in its case, and he was across the way having his photos done. Some of the photos were done with it, and some weren't. Yeah. Mum, sorry about the dog eyesight. Yeah. George, that's awesome. Still have my first bass and building the collection slowly. Have only sold 1 bass over the years. Wowzers. And regret selling it. Was just a cheap Spectre Legend. Oh, then they're quite revered, you know. However, played so well. Yes, they do. Some of them do. Some of those Spectre Legends are really great. remember we had, I think we had the, one of the neck through ones with a fancy top back in 2016, I think. 2 seconds, I can tell you. I can tell you all this. It's all on my hard drive from the magazine days. Base reviews, Spectre Legend. Yes, April 2016 I wrote the review. So I remember it came to me via that year's base show. So the 2016 base show, we picked it up from Barnes and Mullins there. I think that's how that one worked. Love Spectre Legends, great bases. Yeah, Mag, same as Guy Pratt. I just love burgundy mist colour. It does change under certain lighting. Sometimes it looks lighter, sometimes it looks darker. But it's great. Very good quality base and great value for money. I can't say that enough. I don't know how they've done it for the price, to be brutally honest. Apart from the fact it's built in Korea, so there's obviously a lot of, you know, cheaper instrument production out there. But the hardware's great. I've had no problems with any of it. Sounds great. About a tune as well. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. It plays great. I've got 4,505 rotor sounds on this swing bass. These have been on since now February 2020. When I was doing a Jimi Hendrix theatre show. We got one show done, one cancelled for the singer had a back issues, couldn't do the show. Then the next one got cancelled just before COVID lockdown. Then the whole tour got canned, and we've not done one since. They've been on since, yeah. Since February 2020. Ian, here we go. When our disco soul band makes the break from club pub venues to the first 2 function gigs on decent bucks, and a Betsy will be my treat. Fabulous. Good man. They do come up second hand. In fact, I think a friend of mine still got one for sale. Can't remember what he's asking for it. Probably about 500, 550 quid. But, they are great. Yeah. Here we are. I don't know what to drink. So, anyone who's noticed the merchandise, there's 15% discount running until midnight tonight. No matter if you're in the UK, Europe, US, worldwide. All merchandise across the 2 UK and Europe store and the US and worldwide store. If you go into the description box below, you'll find merchandise links. Those 2 stores are offering 15% off all merchandise, no matter what item or where you are in the world. 15% off up until midnight. If you're watching this after midnight, you've blown it. And you can find items of merchandise also in the merch shelf below this video. So if you're watching in real time, there'll be a merchandise shelf with t-shirts, cups, mugs, water bottles, hoodies, bags, all sorts of items. You can buy merchandise from there if you wish. Yes, sir. So I've had no suggestions from you fine people as to who you'd like to see on the live chat next week. I might already have contacted them. I can't tell you who it might be, because I haven't got that far yet. But invites have been sent. Some. Maybe we'll have more than one. How about that? Yeah. George, thanks for posting the link. Heading off to work for the day. Have a great evening. Cheers, George. Take it easy, my friend. See you soon. Have a good one. I'm trying to find some emojis for George. I don't tend to do this. I leave these up to you fine people. Yes, sir. Put you in touch, Ian. Oh, right. Okay. 2 seconds. Let me just find that for you. Just bear with me a moment. You need to go onto there. Cheers, Pete. Take care. See you next week for number 50. Thank you for attending. So, let's see. There we go. Here you go, Ian. It's my friend Saul who's selling this. Better call Saul. £550. Immaculate, I think. Hopefully you're near Gillingham. I don't think he's doing shipping. Yeah, immaculate. £550. It's not bad. Give me a moment. Seconds. There we go. Yes, indeed. Very good. Okay, let's I need to do that, don't I? Helps if you click the right icons, I find. There we go. Okay, conversation's a little slow this evening, guys and girls. I think a lot of the regulars are doing something else. That's fine. So, if there's one base you could have, and money's no object, what are you plumping for? Stick it in the live chat window. Let's see what everyone's dream base is. Woo. Playing a bass center Betsy, Guy Pratt signature bass. How's that grab you? Actually, I need to do the weekly pick that goes with the social media posts. Oh dear. Kev, C-Bass. I have a Spectre made by Kramer. Ooh. Came standard with EMGs, passive. Low action, played lovely. I gave it to my son and he still has it. Well, that's okay. That's still in the family. Evening, Patrick Sweeney. Good to see you, my friend. Late to the party, that's okay. As long as you're here. It's a slow one, guys, so feel free to kickstart the conversation. Hope you're both well. Next week's the last one for the summer recess. And we'll just be doing one a month on the last Tuesday of each month. So don't be late for that one. Could have some famous people or not, we'll see. I can only ask. I can't force them to attend, but did anyone go to the Jeff Beck concert last night at the Royal Albert Hall? Check out Mr. Nathan East on bass duties. Kev, on the new bases, bought a Jazz Elite 5, very good. It's the gold champagne finishing is lovely. I do prefer the deluxe sizing though, more symmetrical and smaller offset. I hear you. I hear you. When did you buy that, Kev? Oh, very good. Did you buy that on a whim or did you buy that out of requirement? Don't worry, Patrick. It's just my mum. I'll tell you what's been happening, mine. 8 gigs in the last 2 weeks. Well done, sir. Mostly functions. Took delivery of a Sterling Ray 34 from the States. Well done. Good. I'm glad someone's got some gigs because it's been paltry. And lots of musicians that I know are just saying it's really quiet. It's like deathly quiet. I'm quite pleased I've picked up 2 for this weekend, but they were late knock-ins. And although I'm quite busy through the summer, it's like taken ages to get to this point. Kev, I'm back in the US next week, so who knows? It'd be nice to get back to the GNL5. What are you doing out there? Is that where you do your ABBA stuff in America? Or is that cruise based? I don't know. Let me know. Back to that in a week and a bit. Not long to go till Uncle Funk hit the festival scene. Busy old summer. Patrick, played an outdoor gig on Sunday evening. My God, was it cold? It is cold, isn't it? It's not just me. It's meant to be summer. And it's cold. I walked the in-laws' dog this morning. Time was that? About 9:45. It was cold. It was really cold. And here we are, like coming towards the end of May. It's nearly June. It'll be September soon. We'll be putting the heating back on. I hear you. Couldn't feel your fingers for the last 3 songs. Mate, if it doesn't warm up soon, the festivals are going to be really cold. I know we're meant to be getting up to about 21, 22, 23 next week, but come on, you know, it's nearly June. Where are you, summer? Craziness. Yes, sir. Where are we? It's 24 minutes past 10 here in London. Hope you're safe and well wherever you are. We're on Brooks's Bass Corner live chat number 49. We've done 49 of these. Don't believe me? Go to the live chat playlist. They are all there. Yes, they are. All 49, well, 48. This is number 49, of course. So next week, in the run up to doing the first Uncle Funk gig of the summer, I'll be putting the video together of me putting my new pedal board together. So there'll be lots of pedals coming out, lots of testing going on, and I'll be filming all of it. So we will see. Should make for a good video. And and obviously once we've done a couple of gigs, I can then sort of critique it and tell you whether everything is staying on or whether some are coming off. We will see. Patrick, where are your gigs this weekend, and are they depths? They're both depths, funnily enough. One came in this morning and one came in on Sunday. So on Saturday, I'm doing a backing vocal session in near Braintree in Essex. Starting early, 9 o'clock, I think we start. And then I've got to be out of there by 3 to get to a deck gig in Salisbury for 6. So it's going to be a bit of a hack. And then Sunday, I'm playing at Box Park in Wembley. There's football at the stadium. I think it's League 2 playoffs. And going to be there from 5 o'clock till 7. So if you're in the Wembley area this Sunday, I'll be playing, I think it's with Brainscape, who are a London covers band. And known them for many years. Chaps, if you're out there, I hope you're well. And that came in on Sunday. So yeah, 2 dep gigs straight off the bat, really. It's very nice to be asked to do them, which was great. So yeah, bit of swatting up to be done Thursday and Friday, I think. That's cool. Where are you this weekend, Pat? How was the wedding gig? The wedding gig was a little funky. So I can't remember if I explained last week, but I did say earlier on this video. So we weren't allowed amplification or monitoring, and had to plug into their system. So basically the band I was playing with, we took the eyes out. Drummer had an electronic kit, went into our mixer, then came out of our mixer into their setup. And then basically they had a big dance floor in front of us, and the speakers were set up in a raise. So basically you had a 3x3 grid, and in each block on the grid, so there were 9 blocks, 3x3. In each block were 9 5 or 6 inch drivers. So you had one block with 9, another block with 9, another block with 9, and then on the next row another 27, and then the next row another 27. It was very odd, overly compressed, not loud in any sense, manner or form. Could barely hear myself play. I took in ears. In the end, I couldn't be bothered setting them up, and then went with the sound that we were hearing, which we did at sound check. When we came to play, someone had turned the system to like half of what it had been at sound check. We all just looked at each other and went, fine, we'll just play. And if people, and you could hear people having conversations over the top of us playing. Was what it was, couldn't change it. Got the gig done. Client was very happy. Guests had a blast, so fair enough. 2 this weekend, 1 pub and 1 function in an Oast house. Okay, nice. Suits you, sir. Same band or different bands? Go Goose! Sorry I'm late work. That's a poor excuse. Hope you're well, mate. Hope everything's good. Everything's cool. Same bands. Okay, very good. Yeah. the name right. I don't want to say the guy's name wrong. Ian Maggs, let me know if you go ahead with that Betsy purchase. Let's all know that I've put you in touch with him. That's good. Well, you're clearly enjoying noodling on the Betsy. It's a good endorsement. Thanks. It is. It's just a great. I've played many jazz basses over the years, and I've played some that just didn't feel that great or fun or enjoyable to play. But this is. It is. It's just great. Just plays really well. Zingy. Well, zingy actually more from the ebony fingerboard than anything else, because the notes just kind of bounce off. But yeah, it's very comfortable. It's not a heavy bass at all. It just feels really good. And anything you buy from the Bass Centre, not just the Betsy's, but all their basses, they go through Chris Ward's workshop down at their offices. And Chris Ward is fabulous. Known Chris since 1993, maybe. It was the first time I met him and did some work on one of my basses. So, yeah. Patrick, what basses did you use on the wedding gig? I used the Status for the Empathy, for the bass string experiment. So I've got my list here. Where I'll put it. Here we go. So we're up to, as you'll know on the channel, we're up to gig number 14. But we're actually, last Saturday was gig number 35. A big old list. Gig number 35. And this weekend it will be up to gig 37. So when we get to Uncle Funk, which is week on Saturday, that'll be gig 38 with the same strings. Joe Goose bass, are those real off-the-shelf EMGs? Yes, they are. They certainly are. Oh, yes. Yes, they are. And you know it as soon as you plug the bass in and start playing. They're thunderous. So there's no active EQ. It's still volume, master tone. But the EMGs make a big difference. And the ebony fingerboard. You hear it. I mean, it's a slapper's dream. I mean, jazz basses generally are, but on a passive jazz bass, you always get that point in. Just wish it has a bit more sizzle to it. Not on this bass. EMG versus Bartolini, totally different. When it comes to pickups, you've got to assess what the bass has in its tonal character before you start putting in pickups, changing circuits. So, you know, if it's a bright bass, really bright, you probably don't want EMGs. It's going to be too clattery, too much noise. You might want the more mid-based Bartolinis. But again, if you've then got a circuit on top, you've got to weigh that up. With a passive bass, if you're just replacing the pickups and EMGs, you can't really go wrong with it. And that was why a lot of people put EMGs in their passive instruments when they first came out, because they solved all the problems that people had with passive basses. Betsy or the Marcus Miller Jazz? Again, very different. This is more based around a 60s jazz. Marcus is a 70s jazz. So it feels different. The ergonomics are a little different. The neck feels quite different. But my Marcus has got the John East preamp in. So I've got mid sweeps, I've got treble boosts, passive tone controls. I've got a lot more options on that than I have on this, but they're totally kind of different basses. But this thing just, it balances. Look, I'm just holding it with one hand. There's no neck dive. And I have no, you know, if it was just passive, I'd be quite happy with it. But the fact it's got active EMGs in it, it's all good. Blame Lewis, good to see you. Popped your head above the parapet. Good. Mum, are you allowed to plug that bass in, or would it be too loud? I could, but I haven't got anything rigged up, Mum. It'd take too long to cable it up. I have to do those videos when it's not in the middle of the evening. I could, but I'm not going to. Blame Lewis couldn't hold a Marcus Jazz like that. Well, let's try, shall we? Depends. See, my Marcus Jazz ain't that heavy. So let me offload Betsy. Hold on. We'll try. Oh, the dog's getting shirty. You can hear me, but you can't see me. Right. What do we do? There you go. A little bit more, but the neck on this isn't. It's still 34-inch scale, but I always think the neck on this is a little shorter than on Betsy. But yeah, yours is heavy. I've carried some very heavy Marcus Jazzes. This was one of the earlier ones. So I think around. I've never really checked, you know, but I think this is like a 2001, 2002. It was bought in 2003 by the previous owner, and I bought it in 2005. But I mean, it plays great. Yeah. See, this one isn't that heavy. I'm just holding it in my hand. It's a little bit of headstock there, but I think the tuners on this are heavier than what's on Betsy. But yeah, not too bad. Always feels like the body isn't that heavy on this, and it should be. It's a piece of ash, but it's very resonant though. Yeah, as you can see, it's got a lot more controls going on, switches and yeah, all of that caper. This is one of the basses that, had I had the Digitech drop pedal when I bought this in 2005, would probably have got a whole lot more use than it did, but it didn't handle being tuned down all that well. And so I had to kind of not use it very much in my covers band. It just didn't, it sounded way too spongy when it was tuned down. But there we go. Kev Seabase, my 71 Jazz is a boat anchor. Yeah, I bet. Blame Lewis, how's the fretless learning going? Hasn't even started yet, Lewis. Blame Lewis, sorry. Yeah. I haven't even started it really. I've been so busy doing content for the channel, getting all the affiliate stuff sorted out, dealing with the new dog, of course, and a few other bits. But the fretless stuff will kick in shortly. It's on my list of getting through. I've got to do Jim Hawkins bass lessons, got to get the Lakeland video up, a couple of demo and review videos, the Ibanez videos, the Ibanez Thomann videos, a couple of other bits and bobs, and then yeah, the fretless thing can start. I will keep you posted. Might well be by the time we get into September and we come back to a regular spot that the fretless thing has already started by that point. Also, I'm quite wary. I need to get the bass string experiment series kind of put to bed, and we're coming towards the end of the life of those strings probably. So get that sorted. Tom Knight, I'll see you next week for the 50th. Yes, indeed. Have a good week, sir. Take it easy. Yes, sir. I'm just making a note of something here before I forget. Very good. Got to make these notes or I'll forget. There's so much going on. Very good. There we are. Ooh. Ooh. It's not 24 fretter, Mike. Very good. It's just gone 22:11 here in London, in the UK. Paul from Glasgow, YouTubers and influencer. Good to see you, my friend. Without waking the wee man up, but how is Charlie doing? He's doing good. Progress. Right, what do I need to tell you on his front? So he walks. We do walks, but I have a feeling the previous owner didn't walk him much. So at the moment, we go out to walk and he just stands there shaking as though he's scared to death. Now, if he gets a whiff of like another dog on the grass, suddenly he'll run. So you end up walking very quick, and then he'll just stand there looking around, bemused, going, I don't know what I'm meant to do here. So walks are a bit they're not intermittent. We're going out on them. He just doesn't do much on them. So it's getting him used to the same places. So he's been going to the Common out in our local area here. And eating, that's another joy at the moment. He doesn't eat regularly. Doesn't seem to like his wet food. We've tried about 12 different types. Likes his biscuits, but can't really just live on those, I don't think. He probably could. It's a complete all-in-one food, but I'd rather give him 50% of each. But he's eating some stuff, and it's a case of, again, when you get a dog that belongs to someone else, you don't know what went on before. So it's a bit of a learning curve for us. We've never had a dog this young before. So we're learning as we go, pretty much. And he seems happy enough. And when he gets on a real go for it on his walks, he's like, you can't stop him. It is like walking a ferret. It's like, he's gone. And on 3 legs as well. Yeah, we just take it every day as it comes at the moment, and he's okay. He's all right. We've bought him a number of different beds, so he's got different beds in the house, and he's taken to what is essentially, I guess, a cat bed, but I think it was billed as such on Amazon, but it's a bit like, it looks like something out of Mandalorian for Grogu. It's like a bed with like a semicircle sort of roof, and it just sort of sits there, and it's like a bit of a snug. It's like a dog cave. That's what it's like. And he's taken to that. He's pulled all his toys in there and goes to sleep widthways and lengthways, and so he's doing okay, Paul. Yeah, thank you for asking. He's a happy soul as far as I can tell, and he sleeps okay. Just he has mad moments because he's 9 months old, he's 6-year-old, and oh no, he's actually 10 months old now. Yeah, and he just has these mad spurts of energy. But we get him. He's all right. He's okay. He's with the right people. Don't worry about that. But I hope you're well. Hope everything's okay where you are. Woo! So I found out last night that I'm actually booked on an ABBA gig about 100 meters from where my mum and dad are. I thought, based on the emails I'd had from the band, we're playing in Witham in Essex. they'd spelt it wrong. It was down on the south coast, so different place. And so I'm going to be playing in an ABBA tribute, and my mum and dad can actually hear me from their kitchen. That's in August. And then the next day, I fly to Denmark. So there's not going to be much sleep that night, that's for sure. Cheers, Paul. Yeah, he's doing okay. We've had him 4 weeks now. And yeah, every day's good. You know, every day is something new happens. And we're learning as we go along with him. Just got to keep him happy and healthy, and we'll see where we go. You know, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's kind of a bit slow on here this evening. I think what we might do is at 11 o'clock, we'll kind of tie this up. So another 15 minutes or so. If you've got any questions about bass guitars, bass amplifiers, speakers, combos, bass strings, pedals, gig bags, bass accessories, you want to talk about famous bass players, stick it in the live chat window, and we'll have a natter about it. If you've got any problems with your gear, you've got some issues buying something, or you just don't know if something's good or not, ask me. If I can help, give advice, get you out of a sticky patch, more than happy to do so. If I don't know the answer, one of these fine people will. And for the latecomers, you'll have missed the news that at midnight, you lose the chance to have 15% discount off everything in the merchandise stores. So if you've been thinking about buying a cap, a nice Brooks's Bass Corner t-shirt, mouse mat, nice mug perhaps, have your coffee in, 15% off until 23:59. So you've basically got an hour and 11 minutes. Links in the description box below for the UK and Europe merchandise store, the US and worldwide merchandise stores. And also below this video window, you'll see the merchandise shelf. You should be able to see t-shirts, mugs, bags, water bottles, mouse mats, hoodies, caps. They should all be visible now. For some reason, YouTube has pulled its finger out, and after last week's live chat, the following day, suddenly all my merchandise is showing up in the store for the channel, and also on the merch shelf. So feel free, if you want to buy some Brooks's Bass Corner merchandise. You got, well, an hour and 10 minutes now. So at 23:59, 15% off discount disappears. We're there. Oh, just go. What's that saying? Patrick Sweeney, we lost a couple of well-known bass players this week. Were you an admirer of either yet? John Giblin. Wow. I didn't know Rob Malarkey was his son. Yeah. John Giblin, amazing player. I was a big fan of Simple Minds, and that's first I really knew who John Giblin was. That kind of crossed over with me becoming a bass player and realizing who this guy was. But obviously he played on loads of stuff years before that. Big fan of John's. Never met him, never interviewed him. Wish I had, but our paths never crossed as such. Andy Rourke, now he and our paths did cross at London Bass Guitar Show. I think it was 2017. I'm not a Smiths fan. I never was. That was complete opposite to the music I liked growing up. Now, as I've got older, I can really appreciate his bass lines. What a great bass player. Still not a Smiths fan though. That'll never change. The Smiths and the Cure, I have absolutely no time for. It's not my thing whatsoever. But Andy Rourke's playing was fabulous. Now, when I met him at the bass show, I didn't know what he was like before, but I have been told he's kind of, that's after the drugs period. So he wasn't that chatty, or kind of, not that he kept himself to himself, but I know even Joel, my editor, said trying to get answers out of him on his masterclass was really difficult, because he just didn't see himself as kind of a technical bass player. He just did what he did. And there's lots of players like that. I know John Taylor was like not not comfortable talking gear. He just isn't. He's just not one of those kind of players. You can just give him a bass and he'll just play. But Andy Rourke, yeah, I mean, I think I had to escort him to the green room, and that was about my sole interaction with him for the whole weekend. And yet people were queuing to speak to him and talk to him and shake his hand and all of that. So, you know, the guy left his mark on bass playing. The Smiths are still a huge band. I still don't get it, but there we go. But yeah, you know, and then yesterday, Algie, who I'm not into the Damned and lots of that stuff, but a lot of bass players are, a lot of musicians are. So yeah, it's been like 2016 all over again, losing like a glut of bass players, all very close to each other. Yeah, sad times. The question you got to ask, Patrick, is who's going to fill these gaps? Because there aren't any bass players really coming through. There's lots of YouTube flash players, but they're not creating any albums or anything of lasting content. I don't know. It's a discussion I've had many times with many people. Still don't have an answer to it. So, you know. Mum, who are you playing with in Denmark? Uncle Funk. We're flying out on the Friday. We do the gig on Friday night, I think at 11 o'clock or midnight, something like that. We stay in a hotel and we get up and we fly home Saturday lunchtime. So it's very much a flying visit. Fly in, do the gig, sleep, home. That's it. And hopefully I'll get back in time to do a gig Saturday night. Patrick, the Smiths were not for me either, but music is of course purely subjective. Of course. Anyone that likes the Smiths and the Cure, that's, you know, that's their thing. Go for it. I wouldn't expect them to like what I like, but yeah. Just that kind of stuff just did nothing for me. Just a lot of jangly guitars and I don't know. Wasn't for me. Indie never was for me, really. It's not. I'm not part of the masses for that kind of thing. Yeah, but yeah, big shame. Lots of bass players going, and John Giblin was 71. Andy Rourke, 59, I think, 57, 59, I think. Algie, I don't know. I mean, I hadn't really followed his career. I'd never heard of him really until I saw a thing pop up on Bass Chat about him. But yeah, it's always sad when bass players popping off, isn't it? It's you know, whether you know them, whether you're aware of them or not, they've created music that you've probably heard. You know, this is my big concern: is that there just aren't the musicians or bands coming through for the next generation. You know, when I'm not here and you're not here, who are the bands that they're going to be? Because, you know, there aren't really bands anymore. There's artists and sort of songwriter producers, and that's really all there is. Stacey, good night, Tom. You're going back through the live chat. Okay, we'll do another 5 minutes or so, and then I think we'll wrap it up at 11. But thank you everyone for attending tonight. If you're late to the party, no problem. So next week is live chat number 50. Hopefully we'll have a star guest. I don't know yet. I've invited a few notable players, and we'll see if we might have one. We might have several. Let's see. Time people down to a particular time is always tricky, but we'll see how we go. Exactly, lots of session players and backing artists. No one knows them. It's like back to Motown times. No one knows who they are. But yes, thank you very much to everyone attending tonight's live chat. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and give the video a thumbs up. As I said earlier, after next week's live chat, there won't be a regular Tuesday live chat, but there will be one a month on the last Tuesday of June, last Tuesday of July, last Tuesday of August. And then when we come back in September, we'll try and get back into a regular weekly format every Tuesday. But there will be impromptu live chats throughout the summer. Might be on gigs, might be in my back garden, who knows? Might be me getting ready for gigs, might be me on soundcheck. But if you don't hit the subscribe button and notification bell, you won't know they're going on. Because sometimes I don't even get the chance to post a message on social media or the community tab here on YouTube to say I'm about to do it. Sometimes literally just press the button and go, and we'll see what happens. So yeah. So the affiliate links now are on all the videos. So for those who were late to the party, there's now affiliate links for Thomann, Amazon, which were both already there. We now have Gear for Music, and we also have ANDERTONS. So if you're looking to buy any bass related gear, accessories, equipment, from any of those stores, retailers or suppliers, you can help out Brooks's Bass Corner by clicking on the affiliate links in the description box below, going through with your purchase, and if you keep the product and pay for it, obviously, the channel receives a very small commission. So I'll say thank you in advance to anyone that does that. The magnificent Graham Potts bought an Aguilar amp sleeve last week from Amazon. That wasn't cheap. And he did it using an affiliate link, and it all went through perfectly. So thank you very much, Graham, if you're watching this at a later date. So yeah, all those affiliate purchases really help. It might not seem very much at the time, but it all grows to be a bigger amount. So yeah. So if you're watching this video after the event, you can still have access via the description box to the affiliate links, the merchandise links, the social media links, and feel free to leave comments as well. The live chat window will be shut, obviously, but if you leave a comment on the video in the comments section, as soon as I get a notification from YouTube that you've done so, I'll reply as quick as I can. I'm very good like that. So yeah, right, last knock-ins, people. Any further comments or questions? If the conversation suddenly takes off again, great. I suspect it probably won't though. Okay. All right. I think. Cheers, Patrick. Take it easy. See you next week, hopefully. On that note, I think we'll bring proceedings to a close. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the likes on the videos, all the comments on the videos, all the interaction on social media, all the shares. I didn't realize quite a lot of my videos have been shared over the past week. There's a new tool in the analytics section which tells you how the channel has performed over the last week, and it tells you how many shares have happened and comments and everything else. So thank you to all those of you who've been sharing the video out to social media and other formats. That's very much appreciated. The algorithm loves all of that, so thank you very much. So on that note, I will bid you all good evening. Enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are. Hope you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or if you're going to bed, have a good snooze. Hopefully catch you next Tuesday, same place, same time, 8 o'clock here in London for live chat number 50. How's about that? That sort of happened quite quick, didn't it? So thank you very much for attending tonight's live chat. I will love you and leave you. Take it easy. Have a great weekend. If you've got any gigs coming up, enjoy them. Play them like they're your last gigs, because you never know when that time might be. Take care of yourselves. Look out for each other. Take it easy. See you next week. Bye-bye.